Welcome to my bed. That's a sentence I never thought I would say. Today I wanted to share with you guys finally about our plans for co-sleeping. This is going to be a co-sleeping video talking about bed sharing specifically. I've been bed sharing with children for almost 14 years since I became a mom, so it is not a new concept for me. If you aren't into bed sharing or co-sleeping, then that's fine. This video is not for you. But for all of those of you who are interested in bed sharing and co-sleeping, and specifically those who have asked me and been curious about how the heck we plan to co-sleep with a toddler and a newborn, because it's quite tricky safety-wise, this video is for you. I want to chat with you guys about what the plan is, some of my backup plans, and what works for our family. So, for starters, this is our bed. We co-sleep with our toddler, who is currently almost 17 months. So he is almost a year and a half. These babies will be almost exactly 18 months apart, like a year and a half to the dot almost. And he still sleeps in bed with us. He always has since day one. All of my babies have slept with us since day one. Like, they have never, well, no, I think my oldest daughter, we tried it for about 2 days in a bedside bassinet, and nope, it was not. I very, very quickly learned about co-sleeping and the Safe Sleep 7. If you are new to co-sleeping and bed sharing and you would like to learn how to safely do it, I recommend looking into the Safe Sleep 7 and making sure you're a good candidate for it and that you are doing it as safely as possible. So obviously, having kids close in age this time has presented an interesting not a conundrum or anything, but it has made us think, like, how are we going to do it? And originally, so first of all, this is a queen size bed, and my husband sleeps here and I sleep here, and we have an attached sidecar crib now. So we didn't have this until we probably did this like maybe 4 months ago in preparation for the baby. We had this crib, just, our room is huge, and we had a little nursery nook, and our son would take naps in it and sleep for the first part of the night. Basically before I was ready to go to bed, he would sleep in the crib, and then I would bring him to our bed. And I had a bed rail on our bed on my side, and we would sleep like that. The really important thing for me with navigating how to sleep with a newborn is I have some ground rules. So the newborn cannot be beside my husband and cannot be beside the toddler. So the newborn can only be with me, and then against a safe surface, like a block, a barrier, or the edge of the bed, whatever. So that has made it quite difficult. So about 4 months ago, in preparation, we decided to sidecar the crib and get our toddler sleeping in like not a separate space, but his own little bubble. He's still very much beside us. So now he sleeps. We kind of did this as I lost my milk. So I lost my milk production, and he night weaned himself. And when that was happening, it was kind of the perfect transition time. And he started sleeping like completely through the night and just waking up for a drink of water if he needed something. He still does that occasionally, but for the most part, he just sleeps through the night. So here was the plan. Originally, I thought maybe my husband and I would switch sides, and I would sleep here, because right now I'm ginormously pregnant and I have to scoot all the way down the bed to get out and go pee in the middle of the night, which is not the easiest thing. So I was going to switch sides, and we tried that. That was thing one. I would sleep here, we would put the bed rail up, and it would go newborn baby, me, my husband, and our toddler in his sidecar crib. So that way, if he crawled out or got floppy as toddlers do, he would be on my husband's side. And that worked for a little bit, and it was easier for me to get in. And well, it wasn't even necessarily easier. It was just a different kind of difficult when you're this pregnant as it is. And we tried it for a few nights, or maybe like a week. And there was some safety concerns that I didn't love, and I decided to switch back. Some of them being that as moms, we have instincts that our husbands simply do not have and are not gifted. When you carry a baby and you do the night care for them and you are breastfeeding them specifically, you develop a sense of exactly what your baby's normal is. You just become connected. Your nervous systems sync up together. and your husband just doesn't have that because they did not carry and grow that baby, and they did not tend to them, nursing to them, you know, nursing them every hour to 2 hours around the clock for their first year. Like, so my husband is great and he's very easy to wake up, but there's just like, we just sleep differently. And so a couple of things happen where my son, I notice when he wakes up and he shifts in his sleep, that will rouse me out of my sleep just enough to check on him all through the night. And I didn't realize how much that actually happened until we switched sides. And so he was like, right, I would always cover him up because he likes to kick all his blankets off and then he gets cold. And so my husband doesn't have that built in, obviously. So I would wake up when he would like move around and notice that he was uncovered and be like, Cody, cover up the baby, cover up the baby. So that was a little frustrating. Obviously I didn't blame my husband to no fault of his own. He just wasn't noticing those things because why would he, how could he, right? So that was one of the things. And surprisingly, my little guy didn't try to come to me until the morning, but there was a couple times where he would just flop over and cuddle my husband. But there was one night in the middle of the night I woke up and he was kind of a little bit squished between like my husband's arm and this part of the crib, and that made, he wasn't squished, he was fine, he was like, his airways were clear, everything was fine, but it was just not something I was comfortable with, and my husband hadn't noticed, and I woke him up and it's like, hey, you have to move him. It's just small things like that where I was like, I don't like this, it doesn't feel safe to me, even though he's older. This is not, like, I just do nighttime safer because it's built into my DNA at this point. So we ended up switching back, and I'm so much more comfortable switching back. I realized I'm sleeping deeper and the thing is not bothering me, and it's solved the issue with any issues with my toddler. So that kind of rules out the first initial option that we were going to do with the newborn, which is put the bed rail here, have the baby, me, my husband, and my toddler. So now that that's ruled out, now what? We had a few backup plans, and so here is, I will share with you my current plan, because obviously if I'm sleeping here, I don't want the baby in the middle, because again, your husband just does not have that self-awareness that you have as a mom. Baby can't go in the middle, obviously, there's too many pillows and blankets and stuff. Like, we like to share. Sometimes in the beginning we won't share a blanket, we'll each have our own just to make it safer, but we don't often need to because we're not blanket hogs, either of us, so it ends up working out fine. He doesn't yank the blanket up onto me or anything, like I can keep it at my waist level and be okay. So the current plan right now is to keep the setup the way it is, and then I plan to set our, because I plan to set our bed rail back up, but I'm not going to do it until the baby is born because I want it to be kind of a new thing. I don't want my toddler to get used to it and have him try and jump it or climb over it to get to me or anything like that. Not that he tries to get to me really in the night at all anymore. He sleeps completely in his own space. He prefers it. If we snuggle, he'll snuggle for a little bit and then go back to his own space. So the sidebar, like, we have really tightly rolled blankets filling in the gap between the crib and our bed frame, so that there's no gaps. It's just mattress to mattress. And so I will put the bed rail back on our bed, like it's a big rail, and it goes fully under and attaches to the other side of our queen. I can link our bed rail. I think it's from Amazon. It's a really good one because it fits on any size bed. So the plan is to put the bed rail back when the baby is born, and that will kind of put my toddler in almost like a crib again. So it'll probably come up to about here, so almost where the crib bar would. And I'm hoping new baby and new bed rail will kind of act as a, this is new, we're not going to try and climb it or anything. We've already been teaching him gentle soft and like to be careful around the belly, so we're hoping we can transfer that to the baby. And we will see. This is plan one. So then we'll put that back up, we'll make sure any gaps are filled and it is safe, and then the baby will sleep here. It will allow for like a foot gap at the end of my son's crib to be able to just come out on his own like he always does at the end, because my legs of my pregnancy pillow go here, so he's used to like kind of just slipping out this little chunk of space. So it will be my toddler in his own bed, the bed rail blocking, our newborn baby, me, and then my husband. And so that's the plan. However, if that doesn't work, we do have a few options that we might try. One, we could try and go back to what we tried and didn't work. The couple months that my son will have developed and grown more could make a difference. I'm not sure. Bit of an interruption. Sorry. As soon as he sees a tripod, I can't film anything with him. As soon as he sees the tripod, he's like, grab the tripod. And there's no tripod safe spot on the floor. So anyway, the plan is if that doesn't work, then there's a few backup things we can do. My husband might just leave the bed and go sleep in my son's room, my older son's room, and for the first little bit until things are like a little more settled, baby's maybe a month or two old. That's an option. It's not ideal, but it's not something we're opposed to. Or my husband might also bring a floor bed in here. That's another backup option. And him can sleep on the floor bed, or him and the toddler can sleep on the floor bed. That's another option. We're very flexible, and we have bed shared in probably every way you can imagine. We've had an enormous family bed before when our kids were younger and we were sleeping with two. When my son was born, my first son was born, and my daughter was a toddler, my husband and my daughter slept together, and then myself and my baby slept together. And we did that for a little bit, and then when I felt like we were ready and it was safe enough, we brought the beds back together and we came back together. So there are a lot of ways we could do it, but the initial plan, ideal plan that I would like right now is for this bed rail to work. Obviously, we're going to have to make sure, one, we can teach our toddler not to touch the bed rail, not to climb it. I don't think this is going to be a big issue, but he listens really well and he knows that no means no. So he's like really good about that. There is a chance, because he's only a little baby, that in the night he just will try and flip over. And that is obviously dangerous, having a newborn on the other side. However, I'm hoping with the gap that he knows he can get out that way. He's not allowed to climb over it. I'm hoping he will just sleep and it will be fine and it will work. If he tries or even attempts to climb the bed rail, we will automatically go to a backup option. But I wanted to share this because I've had so many DMs and people who are kind of in the same situation or about to be in the same situation like us, wondering how the heck we are going to do it. And that is how we are going to do it. The other option, I guess it would be the same. I was going to say we could put the sidecar on the other side, but that's no different than just me sleeping on this side. And again, we could make some adjustments if we want to go to that plan where me and the baby sleep on this side and we keep the sidecar and my husband sleeps there. I could take out the nightstand. That's why this bed is not all the way against the wall. That's just a choice right now because we didn't sidecar this until my son was older. And so I have my a really small little IKEA side table there. I don't know if you can see them. They're quite small. Just so I can have my lamp and a couple of things. But if that doesn't work, we could just move that out and push the crib all the way up to the wall, and that would like get rid of the safety issue that we had that one night. So there are things like that we could do, but we will see. So I hope this was helpful to hear. I hope this was informative. Anybody who is bed sharing and about to be in a situation where you have a newborn and a toddler and you feel like your toddler is not ready to move out of your bed, or you don't want to move your toddler out of your bed, this is what we are doing. I would love to hear what you've done. If you've done something different or can put any other safe ideas in the comments below for other parents who are looking for, it's hard because I feel like a lot of people won't talk about bed sharing. Thankfully now more people are, because that's the thing. It's not that people don't bed share, it's people often don't talk about it because they feel shamed. But I am a big advocate for speaking on bed sharing and co-sleeping because I would rather, I'm of the belief that people should know how to do it safely and know more information about it than do it in secret unsafely, because that's when things get dangerous. So if you have any tips that you would like to share with other moms below, please do. It's always appreciated. But until next time, I'm gonna quickly go short and sweet video because my little guy keeps trying to come in here and be like, Mom, the tripod. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful, and we will see you in my next one. Bye guys.